Welcome to the Oakland County Megacast. I'm Tyler Kieft, and I'm welcoming you to our live local 5 days of all things Oakland County. Today, we'll be talking to a number of different people, including parks and recreation leaders locally, art enthusiasts, and more about topics important and interesting to people like you right here in Oakland County. Let's get into today's headlines on our website at civiccentertv.com. On our local news page, our top story today is from Robin Erb at Bridge, Michigan. Michigan's monkeypox cases continue to climb, and the state has limited 2-dose vaccines to just a single dose. With monkeypox cases on a slow uptick, but vaccines in short supply, Michigan will limit vaccines to 1 dose per person, despite the drug maker's instructions to use 2 doses, a State Department spokesperson told Bridge, Michigan. Michigan has fewer than 2,000 doses of the monkeypox vaccine known as Jynneos, a small fraction of the 310,000 vaccines distributed so far on a national level, according to data from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, which has said it's distributing vaccines first to communities most affected. Nearly 1 in 3 of the U.S. cases, 830 of the 2,593, are in New York City, or in the state of New York, according to the CDC, which may lag individual state data. Nearly 30,000 doses have been sent to the state of New York, according to federal data. In Michigan, the first case was identified on June 29th here in Oakland County. By Friday, the state had to confirm 23 cases, all in Metro Detroit and Kent County over on the west side of the state, according to a new MDHHS webpage that also lists signs, symptoms, and other consumer information regarding the virus. Michigan's vaccine allocations have been distributed to Detroit, Oakland, Washtenaw, Kent County, Kalamazoo, and Grand Traverse counties because of, quote, the population size of at-risk groups, and close quote. That's from Lynn Sutphin, spokesperson for the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, in a statement to Bridge, Michigan on Friday via email. The sites, quote, are acting as hubs that can and will distribute vaccines to other areas of the state as needed, and close quote, Sutphin added. It's not clear how many people have been exposed to the virus, but early data suggests that gay, bisexual, and other men who have sex with men make up a high number of the cases, according to the CDC. The State Department of Health decided to limit the 2-dose vaccine for monkeypox to just a single dose, at least for now, because it will help the state health department, quote, distribute the vaccine rapidly and in an equitable way to those at highest risk for monkeypox. Beyond that, it will also target those at highest risk for severe outcomes, said Sutphin, adding that the limit will be lifted, quote, when more vaccine is available, and close quote. This is all part of a national shortage. Michigan's health department follows a similar decision last week by health officials in the state of New York, who also announced that they would limit the vaccines to just a single dose. Quote, there's not a whole lot of vaccine available right now, even as cases will undoubtedly increase, says Dan Thorell, interim director of the Benzie-Leelanau District Health Department, according to, as he said, to Bridge, Michigan. At least 1 person in the district received a vaccination as a quote-unquote probable cause, having been exposed out of state to an infected person. According to the vaccine's packaging insert available through the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, or FDA, a second vaccine dose is given to patients 4 weeks after the first, and federal officials on Friday repeated the recommendation for 2 doses, according to a health news site, Stat. For now, the vaccine, which is the same one used against smallpox, is prioritized for those who have been exposed to monkeypox. Monkeypox, so named because it was first identified in research monkeys, is contagious when a rash is present, typically for 2 to 4 weeks, according to the CDC. The virus is part of a small family, and that is the same family of viruses that causes smallpox. A monkeypox infection is rarely fatal, but the rash can be painful, then itchy as it heals. Other symptoms are also very similar to smallpox. They include fever, headache, muscle aches, swollen lymph nodes, chills, exhaustion, and, quote, a rash that looks like pimples or blisters that appear on the face, inside the mouth, and on other parts of the body, such as the hands, feet, chest, genitals, or anus, and closed quote, according to the U.S. Center for Disease Control and Prevention. A serious infection could put, quote, a person out of commission so that they're not working or have medical bills for 2 to 3 weeks, said Dr. Paul Benson, medical director at the Be Well Center in Berkeley here in Oakland County. The county now has 5 confirmed monkeypox cases. Getting adequate vaccines quickly will be key to the solution to this issue locally, statewide, and federally, said Benson. So will public awareness. If a rash or other symptoms appear, individuals should contact a healthcare provider as soon as possible, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, as they should avoid contact with others if possible too, said Benson. Quote, people need to have common sense. If you think something is wrong, that you have a transmissible disease, don't do anything that could potentially transmit it, end close quote, he said. Until this year, monkeypox cases were limited mostly to Central and Western African countries and in people linked with international travel. But this year, monkeypox has been found in 66 other countries that had not previously identified a monkeypox case. That's according to the CDC. Quote, collectively, if we don't control this disease sooner or later, it's going to have a financial toll on society, end close quote, said Dr. Benson. The fact that infections have been confirmed mostly among men having sex with men concerns Benson. He worries that the larger public may dismiss monkeypox because they incorrectly feel that they may not be affected, allowing the disease to continue spreading. Even doctors, he said, may not be on the lookout for monkeypox. At least one of the patients he has treated had been misdiagnosed with genital warts, he said, despite a CDC health alert being sent to physicians nationwide. And he acknowledges he first too also dismissed the letter. Quote, I didn't really think too much about it. I heard it a little bit about it leaving Africa, but I thought it won't happen here, end closed quote. But it has, and a lot of precaution has been already taken and is being advised by health officials, even right here in Oakland County. Go to our website, civiccentertv.com, click on our Megacast link, and you'll find the full Oakland County press conference from last week when Executive Dave Coulter, Dr. Benson, and others discussed Oakland County's enactment of a monkeypox task force in order to address Oakland County's response as they lead the state in number of cases per county. Also making headlines on our local news page today from the Detroit News' Karen Buford. The first phase of upgrades is set to begin in $250 million worth of a plan to fix our state's parks. As much as campers love their weekends at Pinckney Recreation Area's Brew and Lake Campground, they're generally not fond of the long lines at the sanitation station where trailers line up to fill their water tanks when they enter the park and empty their waste tanks before they leave. Pinckney Area Recreation Center will receive about $4.4 million in improvements starting in 2023. That's part of a $16 million plan to be spent by the Michigan Department of Natural Resources in the first phase of a master plan to improve state parks. About $250 million in federal American Rescue Plan Act funds, or ARPA funds, were set aside for the state park system as part of Governor Whitmer's Building Michigan Together plan, a $4.8 million infrastructure package that was signed into law in March of this year. The investment is meant to address a generations-long backlog of infrastructure needs at the state's beloved state parks. That's according to Parks and Recreation Chief Ron Olson with the DNR. Quote, we have stuff that was built back in the 50s and 60s. A lot of these parks are like small cities, so a lot of these systems need to be modified. Modern RVs, their electric demands have outstripped our system, he said, and there are a lot of retrofits that need to be done, end closed quote. Here are a partial list of improvements that the first phase of these renovations include. It's about $7.5 million at Belle Isle State Park to remove lead paint and replace the glass and upper steel structures that support the upper dome of the Anna Scripps Whitcomb Conservatory, also known as the Palm House. It's one of the nation's oldest turn-of-the-century glass houses still in existence. Tawas Point State Park in Iosco County will receive $455,500 to repair water-damaged brick at the historic Tawas Point Lighthouse. Specialists in the historic architecture of maritime buildings will provide that work. At Strait State Park in Mackinac County, it will see $2 million worth of renovations to replace two upper campground toilet and shower buildings, matching the finished details from newly constructed buildings in the park's lower campground. Porcupine Mountains Wilderness State Park will receive $1.4 million to renovate and preserve the Cogwoodsview Modern Lodge, staff quarters, mechanics shop, carpenter's shop, and fire barn. The money also will go toward the new state and county park already in development in Saginaw County on the old General Motors site and a nearby landfill, a reclaimed brownfield site on the Saginaw River. About $867,000 will be spent to construct new concrete bumpers, solar lighting, and parking gates that meet Americans with Disabilities Act guidelines, as well as fencing and signage. In Pinckney, the sanitation station will be improved and expanded with the goal to eliminate long lines on the weekends, said Chuck Dennison, Pinckney Recreation Area Park Manager. Quote, every weekend we're full. They come in on Friday and they've got to fill it with water, and then on Sunday, they want to empty their tanks before they go home, and closed quote, Dennison said. Continuing on, quote, some people have to plan their day around it because they don't want to have to wait in line for half an hour. We're going to make some additional lanes so it's quicker and more efficient on the way out and on the way in, and closed quote. At Silver Lake Beach, another part of the Pinckney Recreation Area, the 60-year-old concession building will be renovated and updated. Money will also be spent to resurface roads and parking lots throughout the park. Dennison didn't hesitate about which repairs he's most looking forward to in the park when he was asked, saying, quote, I'm excited about all of them, but the roads are huge. We spend, I don't know how much money and how many hours to patch potholes. I never imagined we'd have the money to fix these roads, and closed quote. Finally, making headlines on our website, civiccentertv.com, on our local news page from the Associated Press via the Detroit Free Press. According to the NTSB, the National Transportation Safety Board, my apologies, a pilot of a crashed airplane in West Michigan was not properly instrument rated for the flight that resulted in a crash over the weekend. The National Transportation Safety Board said on Friday that the pilot of a small plane that crashed in western Michigan in poor weather, killing himself and a passenger, did not hold an instrument rating to fly in such conditions. The single-engine plane Cessna crashed July 15th in Oceana County, Shelby Township, killing pilot Raymond Gundy, 56, of Muskegon County, and his passenger, Troy Karras, 48, of Holton, according to the Michigan State Police. The flight departed from runway 9 at Oceana County Airport in Shelby with a destination of Warsaw, Indiana. The two commercial pilots at the airport observed the departure, the report said, and one of those pilots reported that the ceiling at the time was no higher than 100 feet, and the other said that the plane entered, quote, instrument meteorological conditions, and close quote, as it crossed a road about 1,300 feet past the departure end of the runway. Both witnesses reported that visibility was poor and it was raining at the time, according to the report. More details on that from the Associated Press and the Detroit Free Press, linked in this website, civiccentertv.com, on our local news page, as well as those ever helpful links to information on COVID-19 as we continue in the pandemic. That's not over yet. From the CDC, the MDHHS, as well as the Oakland County Health Division. We have a great program ahead on this Monday edition of the Oakland County Megacast. Up next, we'll talk to Aaron Felipsky from the city of Royal Oak, followed by the Orchard Lake Fine Art Show's executive producer, Patty Narosny, at the bottom of the hour. That's up next on the Oakland County Megacast.
Let's relish these moments, made possible by the COVID-19 vaccine. Keep the festivals going by keeping yourself protected and your COVID-19 vaccines up to date. Now that the vaccine is available for children 5 and up, why do you recommend it?
Kids are part of the community and they can spread COVID.
We're seeing both healthy children getting sick from the virus as well as children with underlying health conditions.
They can easily bring the virus home to other people that are vulnerable and make them sick as well.
This vaccine can change that and keep children safe.
It's essential that your children get vaccinated to protect them, to protect your families, and to protect those in the community around you.
Let's savor these moments, made possible by the COVID-19 vaccine. Keep the dining out going by keeping yourself protected and your COVID-19 vaccines up to date. Can I ask you a question? Why do you want to get the COVID-19 vaccine?
I don't like getting sick. The virus will die. It will be easy to not catch it. Keep my family safe and keep playing soccer. Because I love being vaccinated.
What's your hope for everyone?
I hope everybody gets the vaccine to keep safe and strong. Be like happy, having fun everywhere. Everyone stay safe and hope you get the vaccine.
Wondering what to say to someone who's been sexually assaulted or abused?
I believe you. I'm so sorry this happened.
It's not your fault.
Confidential and anonymous help is available at the Michigan Sexual Assault Hotline. Connect with us 24/7. Call 855-VOICES-4 or text 1-866-238-1454 for help. Learn more at michigan.gov/voices4. Let's relish these moments, made possible by the COVID-19 vaccine. Keep the festivals going by keeping yourself protected and your COVID-19 vaccines up to date. Now that the vaccine is available for children 5 and up, why do you recommend it?
Kids are part of the community and they can spread COVID.
We're seeing both healthy children getting sick from the virus as well as children with underlying health conditions.
They can easily bring the virus home to other people that are vulnerable and make them sick as well.
This vaccine can change that and keep children safe.
It's essential that your children get vaccinated to protect them, to protect your families, and to protect those in the community around you.
Let's savor these moments, made possible by the COVID-19 vaccine. Keep the dining out going by keeping yourself protected and your COVID-19 vaccines up to date.
Welcome back to the Oakland County Megacast, our live daily 1-hour show about all things Oakland County. I'm Tyler Kieft. Learn more about the program on our website on civiccentertv.com, where you'll find information on our entire network of stations, including My Michigan TV. Joining us now on the Oakland County Megacast is Aaron Felipsky. He is the Director of Public Service and Recreation in the lovely city of Royal Oak. Aaron, thanks for joining us today.
Hey, good morning, Tyler. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate having you on. So there's always a lot of fun in Royal Oak, especially during the warmer months of the year as people are getting outside, exploring the city, exploring all the activities in Royal Oak. What are some of the exciting things going on still this summer in Royal Oak?
Oh, well, we've had a number of festivals already this year, and our big headline festival, Arts Beats and Eats, to look forward to later this summer. In fact, we're starting to prepare for that. Just in addition to all the activities that we have to offer at any number of our 50-plus parks in our wonderful, vibrant downtown area. So you're right. There's always something going on in Royal Oak, particularly when we have such a wonderful summer. People are out and about looking to enjoy it.
Another interesting plan that's in the works for the city of Royal Oak is there's a plan that's being worked on to plant 500 new trees throughout neighborhoods in Royal Oak. And give some insight on, where that plan came from and how that will be executed to plant that many trees in the city.
Yeah, I should start by saying at least 500. That's what we're going for this year and next. But that started, we've long been a prioritized cities, trees in our city. We've been a Tree City USA for 46 years, and we've held a policy that anytime we've taken a tree down from the street right of way, we've offered the ability to put it back at no cost to the homeowner. But thanks to some funding that we have, both from federal stimulus, also from the U.S. Forestry Service, we're able to expand that program this year and not just replace trees where there once was a tree that we might have had to take down, but also to take the opportunity to fill a lot of the gaps that we have along our neighborhood streets. And so we're leveraging that money this year and next year to hopefully make a really big impact, as you said, a minimum of 500 trees per year.
So is this something that's regularly done in the city? You mentioned that the city has a policy when they take down a tree in a city right of way, that they will replace that tree either near where that was taken down or somewhere else in the city. But this is a high volume of trees. It's 500 trees throughout the city. Is that about normal for a given year for the city of Royal Oak?
No, that's well more than double on average what we might plant in a typical year. And here again, I emphasize that 500 is just sort of our goal that we thought would be a successful program. I have to say, we opened up the sign up last week, and we already have more than 500 requests. So I'm happy about that. But yeah, no, this is definitely takes it up to the next level from what we've done typically. And our view on this is really kind of a long-term thing. You know, when the city was developed, a lot of neighborhoods, a lot of the trees in those neighborhoods were planted roughly around the same time. And the unfortunate consequence of that is that in time, we'll see some of these mature trees begin to fail around the same time as each other. And if we're not ahead of that and we're not being aggressive and proactive, we run into a situation where we could see some more barren neighborhoods. So we're hoping to get ahead of that. This is a project that, will immediately show some impact in the neighborhoods, but really the big impact is we're talking 15, 20 years from now when we continue to have beautiful tree-lined neighborhoods.
We're joined by Aaron Felipsky. He is the Director of Public Service as well as Recreation in the city of Royal Oak, joining us on the Oakland County Megacast. And Aaron, another great addition to the city before this summer season and for the summer season is the new splash pad at Normandy Oaks in Royal Oak. With these splash pads, there's been some recent articles about some of the drawbacks of these pads, particularly in some cases the spread of bacteria. You actually experienced some of that at Normandy Oaks and addressed it pretty quickly. Can you care to address the city of Royal Oaks actions in that scenario, and B, what you do at Normandy Oaks in order to monitor bacteria and contain it if it is found in any of your systems?
Sure. There's a couple different types of splash pads. One that just uses the city source water, flows it through and washes it down. And then there's others like the one we have, which is a recirculation system. And it saves a lot on water, but it requires us to treat it to a certain degree because some of the water that comes out is recirculated back through. And so we have to use a couple of different chemicals to treat that. It's largely done through an automated process with the equipment that we have, but we're required for health code to test that. Once a week, we have to test for bacteriological instances. And then daily, we test multiple times per day to make sure that our pH levels are okay, that the chemicals that we use are actually functioning appropriately. On the occasional event, we'll get a test that shows that there is an elevated level of bacteria in the water, which can come from a number of different sources. But in those instances, if we have two subsequent tests that way, we have to shut down and do a sort of shock chlorination, let it flow, and then get a retest that does not indicate a positive result. And so that happens on occasion. It's the true experience of any splash pad operator that operates one of these recirculation systems. And as you mentioned, it has happened a couple of times to us this year. The biggest impact of that, well, I guess it's important to note that it's shut down because we're doing the appropriate testing as needed. But we understand it's a big disappointment. People get up in the morning, have plans to take the kids to the splash pad, and are often disappointed to see that we've had to close it for a day. So in those instances, as I said, we've closed it down, we superchlorinate and then flush, and then do a subsequent test. And so far each time, within about 24 hours, we've been able to reopen. It's one of the drawbacks of it, but generally it doesn't happen frequently. And our splash pad is really well used, particularly this summer with as hot as it's been.
We're joined by Aaron Felipsky. He's the Director of Public Service and Recreation for the city of Royal Oak, joining us on the Oakland County Megacast. More information on everything happening in the city of Royal Oak, including all the different recreation activities sponsored by the city, can be found at romi.gov. That's romi.gov or royaloakmichigan.gov for more information and keep up to date on everything happening in the city of Royal Oak. You can also follow them on Twitter at City of Royal Oak, at City of Royal Oak, the official Twitter account for the city of Royal Oak. You mentioned that it's one of the great benefits. The splash pad is one of the great benefits of the city for recreation in the summer. Looking toward the winter, no one wants to do it, but we're doing it for fun reasons here on the Megacast today. There's a proposal that's going to be decided on very soon about a potential for an ice rink in the downtown park in Royal Oak. Can you tell us about that, what the proposal, should it be passed, would allow in Royal Oak, and when Royal Oak residents and visitors will be able to access that should it pass?
Well, I'll stop short of talking any kind of detail precisely on what it might or might not be. I anticipate this evening at the City Commission meeting, there will be an in-depth conversation on that, and we'll know a lot more coming from that. But more broadly, the proposal is to install a skating rink outside at the new Centennial Commons Park that would run at least as preliminarily proposed from late November through February. And so, that would provide residents a great environment, center of the city to go and enjoy that kind of winter activity. Remains to be seen what sort of action the commission may or may not take. So I would say let's hold out on that a little bit before we talk more about that. But if you're talking winter sports too, you mentioned Normandy Oaks. We do have a sled hill that was very popular last year. The first winter that it was really open. That'll be something that we can offer residents, regardless of the skating situation. That's always available.
We're joined by Aaron Felipsky. He's the Director of Public Service and Recreation in the city of Royal Oak, joining us on the Oakland County Megacast. Aaron, we focused so much on the recreation portion of things. Let's talk more on public service side. Is there anything that's been going on this summer or common issues that residents have been having that other residents should be keeping an eye out for and maybe alerting the city to, or other projects that may be worked on soon by the city that residents should be aware of in Royal Oak?
No, I have to say, knock on wood, it's been a pretty uneventful summer. Oftentimes, one of the challenges we have, if we have really strong rains, that sometimes there are some issues associated with that. We've been fortunate so far to avoid a lot of that. So no news on that front is always good news, and we're just doing our normal maintenance work and keeping a focus on that. Really, the biggest news I would say for this summer and what we're really trying to get the word out for is what we started with, I guess, is the tree program. That's kind of the big focus, at least for the Department of Public Services this summer, getting that up and going. So.
We're joined by Aaron Felipsky on the Oakland County Megacast, Director of Public Service and Recreation for the city of Royal Oak. More information can be found on the city's website, romi.gov. That's romi.gov to keep up to date on everything happening in the city of Royal Oak. Aaron, another few minutes with you before we'll say goodbye today. Anything else that residents or visitors of Royal Oak should be keeping an eye out for in the near future on the recreation side or on the public service side?
No, we look forward to having visitors. I mean, for our summer festivals, particularly Arts, Beats, and Eats, and the others. And beyond that, we hope that, maybe they'll see a lot of young trees planted throughout the city, and they can see that we're really publicly demonstrating our commitment to the environment and building neighborhood aesthetics and neighborhood pride, and positioning us just to continue to be a great place to work and live. I would mention, you mentioned the website, if I can plug the website for Royal Oak residents that would like a tree. It's romi.gov/trees. That'll take you right to the sign up page along with some other information, some questions, frequently asked questions and things. And we hope that when we know we've reached 500, we hope we can get a lot more. The best case would be that we have far too much interest in trees that we can plant this year, and some of those people interested will have to carry over to the following year.
romi.gov/trees for more information, as Aaron said, romi.gov/trees for all the information that you need to know. And then the Royal Oak Arts, Beats, and Eats Festival is coming up in September. That's Labor Day weekend, Friday, September 2nd, running through Monday, September 5th. More information can be found on artsbeatseats.com, or, of course, stay up to date on everything happening in the city of Royal Oak at romi.gov. Aaron, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Tyler.
Appreciate it. Let's take a short break on the Oakland County Megacast. When we come back, artists from around the globe are coming to West Bloomfield this weekend. We'll have the details next on the Oakland County Megacast.
Now that the vaccine is available for children 5 and up, why do you recommend it?
Kids are part of the community and they can spread COVID.
We're seeing both healthy children getting sick from the virus as well as children with underlying health conditions.
They can easily bring the virus home to other people that are vulnerable and make them sick as well.
This vaccine can change that and keep children safe.
It's essential that your children get vaccinated to protect them, to protect your families, and to protect those in the community around you.
Let's savor these moments, made possible by the COVID-19 vaccine. Keep the dining out going by keeping yourself protected and your COVID-19 vaccines up to date. Can I ask you a question? Why do you want to get the COVID-19 vaccine?
I don't like getting sick. The virus will die. It will be easy to not catch it. Keep my family safe and keep playing soccer because I love being vaccinated.
What's your hope for everyone?
I hope everybody gets the vaccine to keep safe and strong. Be like happy, having fun everywhere. Everyone stay safe and hope you get the vaccine.
Wondering what to say to someone who's been sexually assaulted or abused?
I believe you. I'm so sorry this happened.
It's not your fault.
Confidential and anonymous help is available at the Michigan Sexual Assault Hotline. Connect with us 24/7. Call 855-VOICES-4 or text 1-866-238-1454 for help. Learn more at michigan.gov/voices4. Let's relish these moments, made possible by the COVID-19 vaccine. Keep the festivals going by keeping yourself protected and your COVID-19 vaccines up to date. Now that the vaccine is available for children 5 and up, why do you recommend it?
Kids are part of the community and they can spread COVID.
We're seeing both healthy children getting sick from the virus as well as children with underlying health conditions.
They can easily bring the virus home to other people that are vulnerable and make them sick as well.
This vaccine can change that and keep children safe.
It's essential that your children get vaccinated to protect them, to protect your families, and to protect those in the community around you.
Let's savor these moments, made possible by the COVID-19 vaccine. Keep the dining out going by keeping yourself protected and your COVID-19 vaccines up to date. Can I ask you a question? Why do you want to get the COVID-19 vaccine?
I don't like getting sick. The virus will die. It will be easy to not catch it. Keep my family safe and keep playing soccer because I love being vaccinated.
What's your hope for everyone?
I hope everybody gets the vaccine to keep safe and strong. Be like happy, having fun everywhere. Everyone stay safe and hope you get the vaccine.
Wondering what to say to someone who's been sexually assaulted or abused?
I believe you. I'm so sorry this happened.
It's not your fault.
Confidential and anonymous help is available at the Michigan Sexual Assault Hotline. Connect with us 24/7. Call 855-VOICES-4 or text 1-866-238-1454 for help. Learn more at michigan.gov/voices4. Let's relish these moments, made possible by the COVID-19 vaccine. Keep the festivals going by keeping yourself protected and your COVID-19 vaccines up to date.
Welcome back to the Oakland County Megacast, our live daily 1-hour show about all things Oakland County. I'm Tyler Kieft. Learn more about the program by visiting our website on civiccentertv.com and clicking on our Megacast link, where you'll find information on our entire network of stations across Oakland County, including My Michigan TV. Joining us now on the Oakland County Megacast is the founder and executive producer of the highly acclaimed Orchard Lake Fine Art Show, happening July 30th and 31st in West Bloomfield Township. Patty Narosny joins us now on the Oakland County Megacast. Patty, appreciate you stopping by.
Yeah, thank you for that great introduction, Tyler.
Appreciate having you on. So we're just a few days away from the show. It begins on the 30th. It begins this weekend, of course, and runs the 30th and the 31st, just off of Orchard Lake Road on Powers and Daly Road in the heart of West Bloomfield Township. Tell us about this year's show. What's coming back? What's a little bit different about this edition of the Orchard Lake Fine Art Show?
Well, thanks for having me today, Tyler. The Orchard Lake Fine Art Show is this weekend, July 30 and 31, in the heart of West Bloomfield. And we have a beautiful show with about 110 quality juried artists and lots of food with great entertainment.
Over 110 artists. More information on those artists and on the art show can be found hotworks.org. We can also purchase tickets in advance for this weekend's Orchard Lake Fine Art Show. Patty, it's been named one of the top 100 art shows in America 11 times. What about this show makes it so unique and really makes it stand out, not just here locally in Oakland County, where there's so many different art lovers and varieties of different places to enjoy art, but on a national scale too?
Right. Yes. Well, actually, it's been voted top 112 times, just so you know. Yes. Even in Michigan's worst economic times back in 2008, the show was voted in the top 100 art shows in the nation. So our focus is quality, not quantity, where we also make sure that all work is original and personally handmade by the artist who is present at the show. There's also something for everyone in all price ranges so that people who can't afford something on a higher level can start purchasing something from $25 on up that's handmade and original and start appreciating art. The 110 artists, I would say about half are coming back, half are new. It's, again, nice quality show. The qualifications or criteria for jurying into the show. So jury does not mean juried. You have to figure out who's doing the jurying and what the goal behind it is. There are some shows in Michigan that just take a jury fee and then you're in. Well, that's not with it for us. So for us, juried means that it's, first of all, it's juried by professionals. Terry Ellensweig from Tamarack, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, who's a retired artist from the circuit for over 50 years. She used to participate in the Orchard Lake Fine Art Show. She's part of my team and one of the jurors behind the pre-show judging. So that pre-show judging is based upon each artist needs to submit 3 images of his or her most compelling work in one of their booth presentation as they would set up at the show. So pre-show, we have to go through all these images and decide yes for accepted or invited, no for not invited, or we have them on the wait list. So for artists who are on the wait list, we don't just put them on the wait list and not tell them why they're on the wait list. So we work with many artists. Terry and I spend hours and hours working with new artists to explain to them how to submit their images and how to submit a booth presentation, because it's something that's not really taught in any of the business schools on a national level. How do they sell their work and that the artist can earn a living with and as an entrepreneur working for him or herself and doing something that they love for a living. So we have some new artists in the show too. Artists are having a hard time finding tents and pro panels to hang their work. So we're pulling from other artists. We're pulling from the retired artists. We have a lot of retired artists now, asking them if they have equipment that they're to sell. So that's what the pre-show jurying is. And then on site, there's going to be 2,500 in professional awards, and there's 1,000 best of show, 2 $500 awards of merit, 5 awards of excellence, and 10 awards of distinction that we added to recognize additional artists and for the beautiful ribbons to help them sell their work. So Mark Bishak, who is local from Berkeley, Michigan, is our artist judge at the show, along with Mary Anderson, who's been our graphics person behind Hotworks. She does all of our promo materials, all of the posters, the ads, the digital ads. She sets those up for me. They're the judges at the show this year. And when they're at the event, they're going to come on Saturday at 9 o'clock. They're going to spend the entire day at the show speaking with the artists. And again, the judging is based on the same as pre-show criteria, which is originality, number one, or the wow factor comes in, technique, execution, and booth appearance. And then Saturday at 3 p.m., we'll be joined by Township Supervisor Steve Kaplan and Township Clerk Debbie Binder, what we call as Prize Patrol, where we go through the 18 artists, the professional artists, and give them their awards at that time. So it's a lot of fun, the Prize Patrol, and we invite anyone to show up and tag along and go from booth to booth Saturday at 3 o'clock at the show.
Orchard Lake Fine Art Show, July 30th and 31st on Powers and Daly Roads in West Bloomfield Township. Those are just off of Orchard Lake Road as you're heading south toward M10 on Orchard Lake through West Bloomfield Township. More information can be found on hotworks.org as we're joined by the founder and executive producer of the award-winning Orchard Lake Fine Art Show, Patty Narozny, on the Oakland County Megacast. Patty, what's also great about this event is there's not only just booths for these 110 artists, which include entertainers as well as traditional artists. It's also a great place for people to go out and meet some people that are impacting the West Bloomfield community and surrounding areas on a daily basis. Can you tell us a bit about some of the organizations and individuals that will also be there that give people in West Bloomfield and even outside of West Bloomfield some insight into great things happening in the community each and every day?
Right. There's a lot of community involvement with West Bloomfield. We want to thank them, from Steve Kaplan on to every department that's involved, the water, the code enforcement, the police, the fire, they're all behind the show, making sure that our event is safe. So at the show, you'll probably meet Steve and Debbie, who are very busy. I believe there's an election right next week too, but they'll be there. And the police will be out there, so everyone should meet. I call them the wonderful West Bloomfield police because they are on top of their game, and they're really great. And then the fire, they'll just be there for emergency, but Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society will be out there. Some of the food vendors that'll be at the show, we added a lot of food to the event this year, including Cousin's Maine Lobster. I don't know if everybody knows this, but they're supported by Barbara from Shark Tank. And I used to be on the Damon John success team a few years ago. Damon John is the guy on Shark Tank who was the FUBU man. And I was on his success team for about a year and a half, a couple of years ago. I have nothing to do with Shark Tank, though, just so you guys know, to clarify that. But Cousin's Maine Lobster is new in Detroit, and they'll be at the show. We have Flavors of Jamaica. She has a restaurant in Waterford off of Telegraph. El Patio has Mexican food. She's there with her restaurant, has two of them, Farmington off of Grand River and Waterford off of M59. And there'll be Motor City McDoggett, who I just saw in Ann Arbor. She's from Detroit with her lovely, lovely children, including Tamara, who's a beautiful young girl. And then there's some desserts, including Little Jimmy's Ice Cream, Zingerman's Gelato. And then there's kettle corn and smoothies like you see at other shows. We brought back entertainment this year, including our flagship band, One Love Reggae from Detroit, will be out there on Saturday and Sunday. And then Sheila Landis and Rick Maddle, they're a jazz duo from Detroit. And Sheila has been our voiceover on our TV spot, on our PSAs, on our radio spots since the inception of our shows. So Sheila and Rick will be out there on Sunday from 2 to 4:30. Noon to 2:30. And then we have several other brand new artists who will be out there, including Terry Davis, who he has traditional and contemporary jazz influenced gospel flavor. Dre Hill with Church House Records. He's from Detroit. Sounds of Imani, who are Christian jazz R&B. Lacey Basil from Livonia will be out there rocking her fun karaoke to close the day on Saturday. and I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, Nanya Thomas. She's another gospel rock and jazz singer too. So we want to thank Donna Walton out of Texas for booking some of those local Detroit acts. But we're happy to have the entertainment back. Saturday, the entertainment is going to be placed at the east end of Powers off of Orchard Lake Road for those who are coming to look for the entertainment. In addition to the great food and the participating entertainers, we have the youth art competition, which is sponsored by Raymond James out of the Clarkston office. Thank you very much. And that program is a unique and one-of-a-kind program where we expose students to the rules and entrepreneurship opportunity of doing art shows for a living. So there's $250 in Youth Art Awards. We also want to thank Miss Lindsay from the Steinway Gallery Art Center in Commerce. She's part of the Steinway Piano store on Commerce near the Costco there at F15 or M5 and Maple. Yeah. And she gets a lot of her students involved, including we've had several other students from around the area. So I believe we have about 60 to 70 students who will be part of that program this year. And then Sunday at 3 p.m., we have a presentation where, again, everyone's invited to attend, where we present the Youth Art Awards. There's one $100 Best Youth Artist, and then there's 3 Youth Art Awards of Excellence. And the program encourages students to create their original and personally handmade art. And then it's the way we expose them to the rules and entrepreneurship opportunity of doing art shows for a living. And again, the student art will have an artist from the show judge the kids' art. Last year, it was John Crutchfield from Virginia, who'll be part of the show this year, Mixed Media. He was the judge. And again, it's a way to let the kids know that they can do something that they love for a living, creating their art.
It's a great opportunity, and the artists are really impressive, these kids, each and every year. It's one of my favorite parts of the show, and I'm sure that anyone that's going to the show for the first time, they'll really enjoy it. So I highly suggest you check that out at the Youth Art Competition, at the Orchard Lake Fine Art Show, as well as all the other artists and entertainment, July 30th and 31st in West Bloomfield. More information and the purchase tickets can be found at hotworks.org. Hotworks.org. For more information. Saturday, 10 a.m. until 6 p.m. Sunday, 10 a.m. until 5 p.m. Just off of Orchard Lake Road on Powers and Daly Road in West Bloomfield. Patty, for those that are coming in, those are 2 literal roads in West Bloomfield. There's tons of businesses around the area. So a concern for those that may not be familiar would be parking. What parking is available to the art show?
Well, if you know where you're going, parking is easy, breezy, convenient, and so nice to attend the show. It's just, you go to so many shows. I know in Ann Arbor, we have to search around for 3 miles. We get lost. Then it's $25 for parking. So, and then there's parking tickets involved. So not here. The parking is behind the last back half of Beaumont Medical Center, which is located between 14 and 15 Mile Road west of Orchard Lake Road. So it's 6900 Orchard Lake Road. So drive in as if you're going to Beaumont Medical Center, but driving all the way to the last back half of the lot. It's going to take you right to the entrance of the show, and you're going to go, wow, is this easy? So, yeah, and that's the whole thing about the shows. We try to be easy for everyone, convenient. It's a smaller boutique show, so it's just a lovely ambiance where people can come, not on top of each other, and just enjoy the art, enjoy the beautiful weather I hope we have that day, and the beautiful everything in the show, and to please support the people who are in the event.
Patty, we appreciate you coming on and previewing this event. 110 artists plus entertainment, food, and more happening at this weekend's Orchard Lake Fine Art Show in West Bloomfield Township. More information on hotworks.org. Patty, anything else for us before we let you go today?
Yeah, we want to thank our lovely community partners, DTE with those beautiful banners across the road. West Bloomfield Beacon had a lovely article. Front, yes. Going to Detroit Public TV, Detroit Public Radio, Civic Center TV's been interviewing the artists. Thank you very much. So the whole event, we want to thank Kego, Waterford Township. There's a lot of community partners involved in the event, Oakland County Road Commission. So we want to thank everyone. It takes a team to make this show happen. It's a lot of work, and we appreciate everyone's involvement and see what a great event that's brought to the community. We want to let people know that I bring artists to the show that you're not going to see in Michigan. We have other shows in Florida and Boca Raton and Sarasota, Naples, Fort Myers. So as a result, I know thousands of other artists, and unfortunately, because of gas prices, we're not bringing so much from out of state, but they're still supporting the show, and we want to thank all the artists too for getting behind it. And next year will be our 20th year, so we hope to be around for many more years.
We hope you're around too. One of the great events here in West Bloomfield, a hallmark of summer in Oakland County and certainly in West Bloomfield Township, a very fun event. And we look forward to being there this weekend. Patty, thank you for being with us.
Thank you, Tyler, for that great exit, too. I appreciate it.
July 30th and 31st on Powers and Daly Road, literally on those roads. They're closed down by, as Patty said, the wonderful West Bloomfield Police Department for that 2-day period, as well as just before that. So, of course, check local information from the police department for more information. If you are navigating through West Bloomfield Township and do regularly frequent Powers and Daly Road, but otherwise it's open to the public. You can purchase tickets online, or you can purchase tickets at the entrances at the Orchard Lake Fine Arts Show, 10 a.m. until 6 p.m. on Saturday, 10 a.m. until 5 p.m. on Sunday, July 30th and 31st. And again, parking is in the very far back area of the Beaumont Medical Center, just south of where the Orchard Lake Fine Arts Show will be. You'll go south on Orchard Lake Road, just past what was formerly Orchard Fitness, and just beyond that is the Beaumont Medical Center. You'll turn into there like you're going to the medical center. There'll be plenty of signage. It's really easy and very convenient, as Patty said. Literally leads you right up to one of their 2 entrances to the Orchard Lake Fine Arts Show. More information and to purchase tickets, hotworks.org. We'll take a break on your radio homes for the Megacast, 89.3 WBLD Orchard Lake and 88.1 WBFH Bloomfield Hills, as well as the remainder of our TV, radio, and web network. When we come back, we'll kick off the Michigan Megacast with Ashley Gibbard from the Better Business Bureau, serving southeastern Michigan as well as the Upper Peninsula. This is the Michigan Megacast.
Let's savor these moments, made possible by the COVID-19 vaccine. Keep the dining out going by keeping yourself protected and your COVID-19 vaccines up to date. Can I ask you a question? Why do you want to get the COVID-19 vaccine?
I don't like getting sick. The virus will die. It will be easy to not catch it. Keep my family safe and keep playing soccer because I love being vaccinated.
What's your hope for everyone?
I hope everybody gets the vaccine to keep safe and strong. Be like happy, having fun everywhere. Everyone stay safe and hope you get the vaccine.
Wondering what to say to someone who's been sexually assaulted or abused?
I believe you. I'm so sorry this happened.
It's not your fault.
Confidential and anonymous help is available at the Michigan Sexual Assault Hotline. Connect with us 24/7. Call 855-VOICES-4 or text 1-866-238-1454 for help. Learn more at michigan.gov/voices4. Let's relish these moments, made possible by the COVID-19 vaccine. festivals going by keeping yourself protected and your COVID-19 vaccines up to date. Now that the vaccine is available for children 5 and up, why do you recommend it?
Kids are part of the community and they can spread COVID.
We're seeing both healthy children getting sick from the virus as well as children with underlying health conditions.
They can easily bring the virus home to other people that are vulnerable and make them sick as well.
This vaccine can change that and keep children safe.
It's essential that your children get vaccinated to protect them, to protect your families, and to protect those in the community around you.
Welcome to the Michigan Megacast. I'm Tyler Keefe, welcoming you to our live 5 days a week look into all things Michigan. Today, we'll be talking to business professionals across the state, as well as nonprofit leaders and more about topics important to Michiganders like you. Learn more about the program by visiting our website on civiccentertv.com. It's our flagship station's website. And clicking on its Megacast link, where you'll find information on our entire network of stations, including our Michigan Megacast co-flagship, My Michigan TV, which you can find more info on at mymitv.com, mymitv.com for more info on all the original programming, imported programming, special programming, and more, all about Michigan for Michiganders like you on My Michigan TV, as well as their free apps for your smart TVs and your smartphones. Take My Michigan TV programming home with you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and always have it in your pocket on the free My Michigan TV smartphone app. Joining us now on the Michigan Megacast is Ashley Gibbard. She is the marketing manager at the Better Business Bureau, serving Eastern Michigan and the Upper Peninsula. Ashley, thank you very much for joining us today.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate having you on. So first off, as always, there's always some new scam that is in the works for scammers out in Michigan and around the U.S. and around the world. And these scams tend to not just affect one certain area, they affect a large number of people. In Michigan, there's been a few particular scams that have been noteworthy of late. One of them in northern and in southeast Michigan has been what are called sextortion scams. In one recently very tragic story involved a 17-year-old boy in the Upper Peninsula who ended up taking his own life as a result of being in the throes of a sextortion scam. First off, for those that are not familiar with this terminology, can you define what a sextortion scam is?
Sure. It's something to the effect of asking for pictures or something very personal, something compromising of somebody, and using it against them, using it as blackmail.
So typically, how are these in particular cases developed? About how long necessarily are these cases being worked on by the scam artist, and how do they even get involved with these individuals?
Right. So what we were seeing with this one is this one happened very quick from the starting point to the exploitation point of things. So we first heard about it in the UP, and then we did receive a few reports of it down here in the Metro Detroit area. What had happened was a scammer creates a fake Facebook profile or social media profile and tries to connect with teenagers. These all have been under 18 individuals, so they try to connect with teenagers on the basis of, hey, we both like soccer, hey, we're both going to the same college in the fall, things like that. So they try to get a teenager to friend them on social media based off of that criteria that they can find on a teenager social media. So based off what they post, they can tailor their account to be kind of similar. So what happens is they connect with that teenager, and then they're shooting messages back and forth, and then the scammer asks for compromising photos of the individual. And unfortunately, those individuals have sent them, and then they use that as blackmail. They say, hey, if you don't send me some money, I'm going to put these out on the internet. Well, what we were seeing that is even that if the teenager did pay them money, it was never enough. So once they paid them, they would ask for more and more and more. And then inevitably, it's too hard for the teenager to come up with that amount of money, and the images do end up out on the web.
So ultimately, when it comes to being a victim of these kinds of scams, what sort of actions can be taken by the consumer to battle this scammer, if there are any?
Yeah, so we recommend reporting it to us so that we're aware, but also go to your local police department and file a police report that way as well.
We're joined by Ashley Gibbard, the marketing manager for the Better Business Bureau, serving Eastern Michigan and the Upper Peninsula on the Michigan Megacast. More information can be found on bbb.org, or you can go to various social media to keep up to date with the Better Business Bureau locally for Eastern Michigan and the Upper Peninsula. Facebook.com/mybbb, and on Twitter, their Twitter handle is BBBEMUP. So BBBEMUP is their Twitter handle. For more information on the Better Business Bureau of Eastern Michigan and the UP, and correction, that's BBBEMIUP on Twitter is their handle for more information. We're joined by Ashley Gibbard from the Better Business Bureau on the Megacast. So there's so many ways that may be fairly obvious, or in terms of how to avoid these kinds of scams. Don't talk to people you're not familiar with online. Get more verification that these are in fact people that you know. What other suggestions are there from the Better Business Bureau in particular for those, especially children who are particularly being affected by this at this time in Michigan, as you've said, but also adults that may fall victim to these kinds of scams?
Yeah, so on top of what you mentioned, not friending people you don't know, looking at when an account was created. If it was created 2 days ago, chances are that's a scam. You can also do if something looks kind of suspicious, like their profile picture, we call things too hot to be true. So if someone's just extremely attractive, you can also do something called a reverse image search on Google, where maybe you copy that picture and check it out online to see if it's been used elsewhere. We also recommend we kind of look at personal information as currency, right? So you want to be extremely careful what you put on social media. And yeah, you might be thinking, hey, just my friends and family are looking at this. No big deal. It's no big deal to post, where I'm going to school or what I'm doing this afternoon. But really that is a big deal, because that's how scammers can curate accounts to get in contact with you and relate to you on some manner, so then they have something to talk about with you. So you want to be extra careful what you're sharing on social media and keep that privacy up to date. Keep it as locked down as possible.
BBB.org for more information from the Better Business Bureau, and to get more localized information as well on scams that are particularly affecting you in your area of Michigan, but also those general scams affecting people all across Michigan and around the U.S. BBB.org, and they also include some tips and tricks for you to avoid being a victim of a scam, or at the very least, to gauge whether or not somebody is likely to be telling you a mistruth or a lie and trying to scam you into something. Ashley, also a common scam right now that's been a scam alert released by the Better Business Bureau is regarding phishing emails, particularly from retailers, in particular Amazon, and with post Prime Day offers, or offers that were leading up to the recent Amazon Prime Day. What is the nature of this particular scam, and how is it particularly making people in Michigan victim?
Yeah, so this can come in a couple different ways. Typically, it's text messages or emails. Recently, we have had a lot of reports of people actually getting phone calls from someone claiming to be Amazon customer support. The biggest thing with that one is please know that Amazon will never call you. But with the text messages and the emails, especially coming off of Prime Day, you may have ordered a ton of stuff, so you don't even know what's coming what day, what's shipping when. And scammers are well aware, they're well educated on what's going on within our society. So if it's Prime Day, they're going to amp up those Amazon scams. So you may receive a text message that say, hey, your credit card didn't go through, or something's been delayed shipping. Please click this link to find out more. Please click this link to update your information. If you receive something like that, whether it be a text message, email, that is a big red flag that it could be a phishing scam. So you want to be sure, if you think there might be an issue, go log back onto your Amazon account and check out the settings. And if there's an issue, it'll appear there. But scammers are very savvy, and they definitely take advantage of when something is going on and a lot of people are focused on one thing.
With regards to that phishing, to those kinds of phishing scams, how does that typically get to that breaking point where now it is a problem for consumers? Is it often that they're clicking these links and not providing personal information, or is just clicking on those links, whether it be email or text message or whatever it is just clicking on that link the point where you are giving this personal information to someone who is trying to scam you?
Yeah, so unfortunately, just clicking a link can download malware onto your device, and then the scammer will have access to everything you have saved on that device. So any passwords, any credit card information, anything like that, they would have access to that. And then if you do click the link, it may also take you to a form or update your account information, and they want you to enter personal information, so then they have your information that way. It can also get to a point where they tell you that someone has bought something using your account and that you are responsible for the money owed because they used your account, and then they can get money out of you that way. There's a few different ways these types of things can snowball, unfortunately.
And these are kinds of things that can be very easily affecting consumers here in the state of Michigan or anywhere else, because these text messages that you may be sending, they may seem like an automated message from these different retailers. Those emails you're picking up from these scammers for Amazon or for other retailers, they look identical in some cases to the emails that you regularly get from these retailers. So what are some ways that consumers can tell the difference between this is a legitimate message from this retailer and this is probably a scam?
Sure. So the biggest thing is whether it be an email or a text message. If it's an email, you can go up to the top and hover over that email address that it came from. And it may even say, Amazon customer support. But if you hover over it, something else might appear, some other email address, a random Gmail, something like that. Same thing with a text message with those links. You can hover over them to see where they're actually taking you. It may look like it's taking you to Amazon.com, but it's probably taking you elsewhere. So those are two of the biggest things, is to hover over anything before you click on it or respond to anything. Another thing, especially with the emails, is grammar. So even, a simple message like, hey, update your information. Scammers typically don't speak the way we would. So just read over that email. And then if something seems off, delete the email and go directly to Amazon. And then always be mindful of, did I just place an order? I know on things like Prime Day, it can be a little bit hard to keep track. Maybe you place multiple orders in a short amount of time. But hey, does this make sense that I would have placed this order and there would be a problem with it? Things like that.
And it's a really easy step that consumers can take when they get emails from any of these retailers, whether it be saying something that's urgent about your account or even just an advertising email that you typically get as a condition of signing up for an account on one of these different businesses' websites. No matter what you're doing, no matter what kind of email you're getting, if you're clicking through and you're reading the contents, the first thing you can do is simply just look at the email, as you said. And often you'll be able to tell quite easily if it's a fake email, because often they're not really doing much to hide that it's a fake email. If it's not ending in the website's name or something like that, that's a pretty good sign that this is not legitimate.
Right.
We're joined by Ashley Gibbard, the marketing manager for the Better Business Bureau, serving Eastern Michigan and the Upper Peninsula on the Michigan Megacast. You can find more information on a lot of different helpful tips and tricks, as well as how you can look into a variety of different businesses in your local area and across the Great Lakes state by visiting bbb.org. In addition, you can follow the Better Business Bureau on various social media, including Facebook, MyBBB, and on Twitter, the Better Business Bureau serving Eastern Michigan and the Upper Peninsula is at BBBEMIUP. So just remember, Better Business Bureau, BBB, Eastern Michigan, EMI, and the Upper Peninsula, of course, UP, at BBEMIUP on Twitter for more information. Ashley, one other scam that is currently going around in the state of Michigan, we know it's very tough right now, and it has been for a while, for people to buy a car with supply chain issues, with there being a backlog of supplies going to different factories to build some of these new cars. With that being the case, so many people are looking to buy gently used cars or moderately used cars even. That's creating a new market for scammers also, who are looking to swindle people just trying to get themselves in their next vehicle. Can you tell us about some of the common scams going around in regards to used car sales?
Yeah, sure. So the biggest one we're seeing right now is because used cars and cars in general are so hard to come by right now, people turn to things like Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace to look for cars. And unfortunately, scammers know that and they can take advantage of that. So what happens is someone will see a posting for a vehicle and it'll be a great price for the age of the vehicle and the mileage on it. It'll just be an amazing price that they're not seeing anywhere else. So of course, then they'll contact what they think is the seller, and they'll have a conversation back and forth. Typically, this is over either, Facebook Messenger or text messages of some sort, and they will go back and forth a few times, and then the scammer, who they think is the seller, will let on that, oh, I live in another state, but it's no problem. I can get the car shipped to you. All you have to do is pay the shipping company, and it shouldn't be a problem. So they ask you to wire money to this shipping company that they're supposedly working with, and they will get your car delivered to you. Your money will be in escrow until your car's delivered. No problem. But what happens is the scammer is actually in cahoots with the shipping company they require you use. They get you to pay money to the shipping company, normally via wire transfer or gift card or peer-to-peer payment app, something like that. And then what happens is, because they're in cahoots, they just kind of take your money and run. No car gets delivered, and you really don't have any way to get your money back at that point.
So what are the ways that consumers can go around, potentially falling victim to these scams? What should they be doing as they engage interest in a certain vehicle and are at the point where they're willing to buy?
So a couple of the biggest things you can do is, regardless, if someone's out of state, we understand, but you always want to see that car in person. It doesn't matter. Always see the car in person before you buy it. Even the prospect of you asking to see it in person might bring out the scammer, because they might, say, no, it's okay. You don't need to see it. Everything's good. That might even bring out just enough information for you to know it's a scam. The other thing is if the individual won't speak to you on the phone, that's also a good indication that this may not be legitimate. And then you always want to be careful, never pay for anything via wire transfer or using gift cards or peer-to-peer payment apps even. Those are ways that scammers can take your money, and then you have no way to get it back. If possible, pay, with a credit card. If not, a check and things like that. Your bank can work with you if there becomes a problem, but you never want to do a wire transfer or anything like a gift card or anything like that.
We're joined by Ashley Gibbard, the marketing manager of the Better Business Bureau, serving Eastern Michigan and the Upper Peninsula on the Michigan Megacast. Ashley, another minute or two with you before we'll need to say goodbye today. At this time, any other alerts from the Better Business Bureau or things that people in the state of Michigan should be keeping in mind at this moment in time?
Yeah, so one thing we actually just kind of started sharing about today, and that we're seeing a lot of right now, are what we call sweepstakes scams. So we're hearing a lot of consumers locally getting phone calls claiming they won Publishers Clearinghouse or some sort of other sweepstakes. They won $4 million in a new car. All they have to do is either pay, taxes or send, $2,000 to get their car shipped to them, something of that sort. So we're hearing a lot of reports of that. And sometimes they even call and say, we're verified by the Better Business Bureau and stuff like that. So they even throw us into that mix to make them sound more legitimate. When it comes to that, the biggest thing to remember is you have to enter a contest to win it. Unfortunately, we're not all going to get phone calls that say we won $4 million and have it be true. As much as we all might want that to happen, it's just not the case. And then you never have to pay to win a prize. If you won a contest, you'll never have to pay taxes on that check or that information to get it sent to you, or anything like that. So those are the two biggest things to kind of keep in mind. If you receive a phone call, it can come in the form of a phone call or a letter. We've heard people receiving letters recently saying the same thing, but just keep that in mind. You have to enter a contest to win it, and you'll never have to pay to receive your winnings.
Ashley, appreciate your time. Thanks for joining us.
Sure, my pleasure.
We're going to take a short break on the Michigan Megacast. When we return, July is Minority Mental Health Month, and we'll be joined by the Rose Hill Center's Sean Bryson on the program to discuss the special circumstances and considerations in treating mental health in communities of color. This is the Michigan Megacast.
Let's savor these moments, made possible by the COVID-19 vaccine. Keep the dining out going by keeping yourself protected and your COVID-19 vaccines up to date. Can I ask you a question? Why do you want to get the COVID-19 vaccine?
I don't like getting sick. The virus will die. It will be easy to not catch it. Keep my family safe and keep playing soccer because I love being vaccinated.
What's your hope for everyone?
I hope everybody gets the vaccine to keep safe and strong. Be like happy, having fun everywhere. Everyone stay safe and hope you get the vaccine.
Wondering what to say to someone who's been sexually assaulted or abused?
I believe you. I'm so sorry this happened.
It's not your fault.
Confidential and anonymous help is available at the Michigan Sexual Assault Hotline. Connect with us 24/7. Call 855-VOICES-4 or text 1-866-238-1454 for help. Learn more at michigan.gov/voices4. Let's relish these moments, made possible by the COVID-19 vaccine. Keep the festivals going by keeping yourself protected and your COVID-19 vaccines up to date. Now that the vaccine is available for children 5 and up, why do you recommend it?
Kids are part of the community and they can spread COVID.
We're seeing both healthy children getting sick from the virus as well as children with underlying health conditions.
They can easily bring the virus home to other people that are vulnerable and make them sick as well.
This vaccine can change that and keep children safe.
It's essential that your children get vaccinated to protect them, to protect your families, and to protect those in the community around you.
Welcome back to the Michigan Megacast, our live daily 1-hour show about all things Oakland, all things Michigan. I'm Tyler Keefe. To learn more about the program by visiting our website at civiccentertv.com and clicking on our Megacast link, where you'll find information on our entire network of stations, including My Michigan TV. Joining us now on the Michigan Megacast is Sean Bryson, the clinical director at the Rose Hill Center, located in Holly, Michigan. Sean, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate having you on the show to talk about this, because over the last couple of years, particularly with the COVID-19 pandemic, we've seen a reduction in the stigma against mental health conditions, and people have been more open to talk about mental health. But what we often don't do is zoom in on that issue and understand how different populations and their mental health situation, their mental health conditions, things that affect their mental health and take a toll on their mental health, we don't really take and put those under the microscope so much. So for Minority Mental Health Month, what are some of the primary focuses for minority populations in terms of their mental health that maybe aren't being looked at as closely as they should be in our society today?
I think one of the things that we need to look at are our youth and the children. Most 75% of the young people that are in any kind of incarcerated situation have mental health issues, but often that population is highly represented by Black and Indigenous people of color that are in the jails, and they are not being addressed earlier when they are showing the signs of those mental health challenges. Instead of being referred for mental health care, for outpatient treatment and or specialty clinics, they are often misrepresented as behavioral problems and antisocial behavior, and incarcerated or in some type of locked facility or punishment mode rather than treatment facility.
And especially when...
I'm sorry.
Please continue.
I was just going to say that, especially with youth, I mean, that's one of the big areas where we see quite a disparity in the care that's necessary for those folks.
So what sort of interventions are needed particularly in minority communities, in Black, Indigenous, and person of color communities, where these certain services that would be critical in preventing some of these issues, or at least keeping kids out of juvenile detention centers or out of having a record going into their adult life? What are some of those key interventions that aren't there right now, but would be really useful in these communities?
I think resources just in general, that we know that public mental health services are very limited in general for the general population, but certainly in minority communities. We have taken social workers and counselors out of the schools. Their primary focus now is just to take care of the paperwork requirements for the school, and less about actually working with students and their families, making interventions at an early on point. In addition to outpatient services for adults as well. Being able to see or have access to a psychiatrist and a therapist can sometimes be a wonderful intervention that has maximum impact with minimal intervention, I guess, in that sense, opposed to like a residential setting or some type of hospitalization. It can help individuals manage the challenges that they're experiencing, whether it be depression or anxiety or thought and mood disorders as well. So having greater access to those resources in the communities that people live in, I think would be a very well needed and helpful addition. In also with being able to allow people to work with professionals that look like them, that come from areas that they come from, that the individual can feel comfortable talking to.
So let's talk about that, and let's expand on that on the professional side of mental health. What in terms of what colleges and universities, and certainly what organizations that are involved in the mental health community of medicine, what further efforts do they need to do to be able to make those strides and bring more people into those professions that are from Black, Indigenous, and person of color communities, so that we can properly treat people in those communities in ways that are culturally competent and are trauma informed for what they're going through?
I think I believe that the cost of education is a barrier. Often, in order to be prepared as one would need to be helpful in the communities, you need to have an advanced degree. An advanced degree, even at one of our local universities, can run upwards to $80,000, $90,000, depending on whether or not you stay on campus. For someone to invest that amount of money for the proper training, and then the salaries that are associated with those positions, often people decide to choose other careers if they're going to make that kind of an investment. So being able to make education and training available at a more affordable rate. And there are some programs out there that do help with some loan forgiveness and help with people being able to get the training that they need, but not straddled with a lifetime of debt and their efforts to obtain that.
We're joined by Sean Bryson, the newly appointed Clinical Director of the Rose Hill Center, joining us on the Michigan Megacast. You can find more information on the Rose Hill Center by visiting rosehillcenter.org. That is rosehillcenter.org. And Sean, as the new Clinical Director at the Rose Hill Center, how are you incorporating some of these principles into the treatment operations and the clinical operations at the Rose Hill Center to be able to provide an even greater level of health care than was already being provided by the center?
Well, one of the things that I strongly believe in is continued education as well. Our clinicians here certainly come well prepared and with advanced degrees. But we continue with that education process with additional conferences, seminars, and trainings, opportunities for people to grow, to learn new evidence-based practices so that we are giving the individuals that we serve here at Rose Hill the most comprehensive care available to our field.
We're joined by Sean Bryson, the clinical director at the Rose Hill Center on the Michigan Megacast. If you're just tuning in, you can view this full interview on demand as well as all of our interviews on demand at civiccentertv.com by visiting our Megacast link. civiccentertv.com/Megacast are usually up there sometime mid to late afternoon. And of course, we're talking to Sean as this is July, and July is Minority Mental Health Month. As we continue to battle through a mental health crisis in the U.S., it's definitely something that's become much more recognizable and much more and much less stigmatized across the U.S. Going back into that, Sean, as we look at what's going on in the world too, and we've talked to psychologists and to social workers in the past on this program about the impact of social media, on the impact certainly of current events on the mental health of individuals in our community. As we think about 2020 especially, but also some of the hateful rhetoric that we're seeing, that we continue to see, particularly in the political realm in the U.S. at this time, what sort of impact, even beyond the general mental health situation in minority communities, is that having, compounding onto those issues and further putting stress on the mental health of our minority communities?
Certainly the level of anger, I would say, and hatred that is easily communicated through social media formats have a large impact on communities of color in that it is traumatizing to hear and see these things in present day, to feel as though with the activities that happened in January of last year that we would be able to not feel safe in our own communities, concerns about violence and other things that are, negative that just add to the stress, the anxiety, and depressive symptoms that are already in existence with the existing issues that they deal with day to day. And having that come on top of it just compounds the challenges.
We're joined by Sean Bryson, the clinical director at the Rose Hill Center, joining us on the Michigan Megacast. More information on the Rose Hill Center can be found at rosehillcenter.org, rosehillcenter.org for more information. And just to put this into context, Sean, in Black, Indigenous, people of color communities and communities of color, just how much of an issue is our mental health concerns, just how broad in those communities are mental health issues, whether it be depression or anxiety or some other even more severe cases as well?
How prevalent is that in the community? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, across the board in minority communities at this moment in our history.
There's significant, based on some data that I've reviewed, that there is significant mental health issues in Black, Indigenous, and people of color communities because while they represent a smaller number or percentage of individuals challenged with mental health issues, they're the number of people that seek treatment for that care calls for a wide disparity in care. They're not getting the care that's necessary, and therefore it continues to go without treatment. It affects other people in the community, children, families, and exacerbates and can, as I mentioned earlier, become more severe and result in hospitalization and additional challenges, loss of employment, severed relationships, and all those things that go along with untreated conditions. And so once you have such a large presence in a community and it's either inadequately or poorly cared for or treated, it has that ripple effect in a negative way.
All the more reason to put a focus on mental health in minority communities, not only in July, which is Minority Mental Health Month, but all throughout the year as well, and continue to make critical changes in our community. Sean, just another minute or so before we'll need to say goodbye today. Anything else we haven't discussed that would be important for our audience to be considering in terms of health, mental health in our minority communities here in Michigan?
I think that it's important for folks to know that there are resources out there, even though there may be some limitations to that, but there are resources available, and you can always start with your local mental health association, whatever community that you're in, to just look for a community mental health. You can do a search on the computer, and they will direct you from there. If they can't provide the service for you, they will give you alternatives and move you in the right direction.
Sean, thank you so much for your insight, for giving us some context on issues of mental health in communities of color. And congratulations on your position with the Rose Hill Center as the new clinical director.
Thank you.
Let's take a break on the Michigan Megacast. When we come back, we'll head to the beach with Joe Halpin from My Michigan Beach. That's next on the Michigan Megacast.
Can I ask you a question? Why do you want to get the COVID-19 vaccine?
I don't like getting sick. The virus will die. It will be easy to not catch it. Keep my family safe and keep playing soccer because I love being vaccinated.
What's your hope for everyone?
I hope everybody gets the vaccine to keep safe and strong. Be like happy, having fun everywhere. Everyone stay safe and hope you get the vaccine.
Wondering what to say to someone who's been sexually assaulted or abused?
I believe you. I'm so sorry this happened.
It's not your fault.
Confidential and anonymous help is available at the Michigan Sexual Assault Hotline. Connect with us 24/7. Call 855-VOICES-4 or text 1-866-238-1454 for help. Learn more at michigan.gov/voices4. Let's relish these moments, made possible by the COVID-19 vaccine. Keep the festivals going by keeping yourself protected and your COVID-19 vaccines up to date. Now that the vaccine is available for children 5 and up, why do you recommend it?
Kids are part of the community and they can spread COVID.
We're seeing both healthy children getting sick from the virus as well as children with underlying health conditions.
They can easily bring the virus home to other people that are vulnerable and make them sick as well.
This vaccine can change that and keep children safe.
It's essential that your children get vaccinated to protect them, to protect your families, and to protect those in the community around you.
Let's savor these moments, made possible by the COVID-19 vaccine. Keep the dining out going by keeping yourself protected and your COVID-19 vaccines up to date. Can I ask you a question? Why do you want to get the COVID-19 vaccine?
I don't like getting sick. The virus will die. It will be easy to not catch it. Keep my family safe and keep playing soccer because I love being vaccinated.
What's your hope for everyone?
I hope everybody gets the vaccine to keep safe and strong. Be like happy, having fun everywhere. Everyone stay safe and hope you get the vaccine.
Wondering what to say to someone who's been sexually assaulted or abused?
I believe you. I'm so sorry this happened.
It's not your fault.
Confidential and anonymous help is available at the Michigan Sexual Assault Hotline. Connect with us 24/7. Call 855-VOICES-4 or text 1-866-238-1454 for help. Learn more at michigan.gov/voices4. Let's relish these moments, made possible by the COVID-19 vaccine. Keep the festivals going by keeping yourself protected and your COVID-19 vaccines up to date.
Welcome back to the Michigan Megacast, our live daily one-hour show about all things Michigan. I'm Tyler Kieft. Learn more about the program on civiccentertv.com by clicking on the Megacast link, where you'll find information on our entire network of stations, including TV, radio, and web outlets all across the state, including our co-flagship, My Michigan TV, which you can also find on mymytv.com, mymitv.com for more info. Michigan TV, including the Michigan Megacast and more, as well as special programming such as USPBL Baseball, the United Shore Professional Baseball League, with all their games on My Michigan TV. And of course, more information on where you can download free smartphone and smart TV apps and take My Michigan TV content home with you and on the road, anywhere, anytime in Michigan and around the world, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on the free My Michigan TV smartphone app. Joining us now on the Michigan Megacast, of course, it's the summer in Michigan, which means you are traveling to Sleeping Bear Dunes, exploring up north, going to festivals, and enjoying time in the sun on your favorite local beach. If you want to explore more of the state's amazing beaches and waterways, Jill Halpin has you covered. She is the founder of My Michigan Beach and joins us now on the Michigan Megacast. Jill, thanks for being with us today.
Hi, Tyler. Thanks so much for having me.
Appreciate having you on. First off, tell us about My Michigan Beach, what sort of information it provides to people in Michigan and visiting Michigan, and how you came up with the idea.
Okay, so I started My Michigan Beach in 2019, late in 2019. I'm a lifelong Michigan resident. I grew up spending all my summers on the beaches of Michigan, sailing, swimming, splashing on the shores. As an adult, I continued to do the same thing. I split my time between Southeast Michigan and up north on Lake Huron. And as I started to share some of my travel and adventures throughout Michigan, I realized there's a lot of people who were so surprised by how much our state has to offer, from outdoor recreation, fun things to do, hiking trails, beautiful, beautiful natural areas. And so I have a background as a journalist and a librarian. So I love to share information. So I got into web development, user experience, and I developed My Michigan Beach website, and we had a fabulous response.
And so it's more than just exploring beaches in Michigan. It's exploring activities all throughout the state, not only in the summer months, but all throughout the year. So when you're compiling these guides and this information for people that are visiting the state, and even for those that are already in Michigan and just looking for a new place to travel, what sort of information are you looking for? What stands out as special to you?
Well, we want to make sure that we provide information that's relevant, up to date, and that really gets to the heart of what someone is looking for when they travel. So things that are important, things like, can I take my dog with me? I take my dog with me everywhere. So I think there's a lot of people like me. So we try and include information on places that are dog friendly. If you're somebody like that, here's a tip. Kirk Park has a fabulous dog beach that's over in Holland. You're not going to want to miss that. Things that are important and that stand out are information about ADA accessibility. A lot of communities are really realizing how important this is. And as I travel through the state, I'll notice different features like mobility mats to help someone get down to the beach. Maybe a community has a beach wheelchair free for usage. A lot of them do. Track wheelchairs at state parks. These are fabulous things. Those are the kinds of things that we try and include in all of our information that we share with people.
We're joined by Jill Halpin. She is the founder of My Michigan Beach, joining us on the Michigan Megacast. More info can be found, as well as all their travel guides for the summer, for the fall, and all seasons in Michigan on a number of different activities by visiting mymichiganbeach.com. mymichiganbeach.com for more information as she joins us on the Megacast. And so, Jill, talking about all these different locations and ADA compliance, and then with that comes the idea of safety, particularly on Michigan's beaches. We've already had so many reports this summer of tragic events, or at the very least scary and dangerous events on many of Michigan's waterways from people not necessarily following safety guidelines or rules in place at many of Michigan's beaches and state parks. My Michigan Beach is partnered with the Great Lakes Water Safety Consortium. Can you tell us about that partnership and how you are instituting safety information too into this travel information for people wanting to experience tourism in Michigan?
Oh, I'm so glad that you brought that up, because that is such an important thing. We partnered with Great Lakes Water Safety Consortium to share their messaging, to promote them on social media, to do anything that we can to assist with the efforts to keep our beaches safer. You're right. It's a scary thing. People need to be aware. Momentum, I think, is starting to pick up a little bit in that area. We need to keep it going. Beach safety is something that goes right along with keeping your beaches clean. I mean, it's just so important.
We're joined by Jill Halpin. She is the founder of My Michigan Beach, joining us on the Michigan Megacast. You can find more information on My Michigan Beach, as well as all their helpful guides and more information on all different regions of Michigan during all different seasons of the year. We are a state that very much experiences all 4 seasons here in Michigan by visiting their website, mymichiganbeach.com. mymichiganbeach.com. It's that easy. And so many people are going to be, as we approach the fall season, and we're still a ways away, there's plenty of summer left, but as you go into the fall, one thing that people really look forward to is the foliage and the colors in Michigan, especially in very natural areas of the state that you see in mid-Michigan, certainly up north. So for you, as we're approaching the fall season, what are some of the locations in Michigan that My Michigan Beach is keeping an eye on, in particular when it comes to fall foliage and the fall colors?
Oh, I'm so glad that you brought that up. I actually just finished our fall color prediction, and it looks like it's going to be a really warm month. They're predicting a warm season. They're predicting warm weather through the fall, but it's also possibly going to be a little rainy, so that could cut it a little short. So we'll be keeping our eye on that. One place that's spectacular and starts to get the color early is the Keweenaw Peninsula, Copper Harbor, and when you see that contrast of the bright golds and yellows against that deep blue of Lake Superior, I mean, it is stunning. It's just gorgeous. Another place that is a little bit closer in the northern lower peninsula, Akiak Falls. It's near a place, it's in the northeast corner, north of Alpena, near Rogers City. It's the only waterfalls in the lower peninsula, and they're little falls, but they're just beautiful, and that whole area just lights up with color. It's gorgeous. Obviously, Sleeping Bear Dunes is beautiful. Glen Arbor, stunning. You know, if you walk on those trails, you'll come through beach forests and hardwoods that are just absolutely brilliant.
We're joined by Jill Halpin. She is the founder of My Michigan Beach, joining us on the Michigan Megacast. You can find more info on My Michigan Beach on their website, mymichiganbeach.com, and including some of the guides that Jill and her team have put together, including their ultimate guide, the Kensington Metro Park in the Metro Detroit area, in the Oakland County area, on the west side of the state. If you are going to one of the favorite Michigan summer destinations, that's Grand Haven, Michigan. She has a list of the best beaches in Grand Haven to enhance your experience, as well as those looking throughout the state of Michigan as we continue on in the summer months, those last couple months of swimming in the best Michigan lakes for swimming in the state. All those lists and more on My Michigan Beach's website, mymichiganbeach.com. That's mymichiganbeach.com. You also have a shop on there, so if people want to represent some of their favorite places in Michigan that they've gone, either at your suggestion or that they found all over the years, they can go to michiganbeachstore.com. Tell us about some of the products that people can get on that website and how they're inspired.
Well, people have their favorite Michigan beaches. You know, if you're a Michigander, especially, you have your special spot, and people love to rep that. So we have hoodies, we have bags, we have T-shirts, mugs. We even have masks for COVID. We have just about anything you might want to have with slogans on there like "Life's just a beach," "Playing in the sand," all kinds of fun things like that. And you can order exactly what you want and have it delivered directly to you.
We're joined by Jill Halpin. I'm the Michigan Megacast, founder of My Michigan Beach, and you can find more information on the website, mymichiganbeach.com, mymichiganbeach.com, or shop for some of those products you just talked about that represent a variety of different destinations across the state of Michigan at michiganbeachstore.com. The shop is at michiganbeachstore.com. All the great info on a variety of different places, recreation, events, and more at mymichiganbeach.com as well. And what's great too is you have all this information in all these different places, all these different destinations, different experiences people can undergo across the state. But you also are helping people make those a little bit more affordable, or get some of those experience, or win some of those experiences too. You partner with a number of resorts and wineries across the state, as well as local businesses for giveaways. Can you tell us about some of those partnerships and how people maybe can sign up for maybe winning some of those experiences or products?
Yes, that's one of our that's something that we really enjoy doing. We partner with different resorts, hotels, wineries, businesses, and offer promotions and giveaways through our website. We have one right now, which is actually really, really fabulous opportunity to win a Torch Lake kayaking trip for 6 people. And what that is, it's a 3-hour guided kayak trip, but the best part of it is that they're in clear kayaks, so you can see the bottom while you're kayaking. And I'm sure you know about Torch Lake, stunning blue color. If you're somebody who likes to hunt for Petoskey stones or keep your eye out for wildlife, fish and turtles, Clearwater Kayaks in Traverse City is our partner with this one, and it is a fantastic opportunity. You just need to go to our website. You can go to our homepage, mymichiganbeach.com. We've got a link that'll direct you to our kayaking page where you can go ahead and enter. We're asking people to tell us what their favorite lake is in Michigan for an opportunity to win this trip.
Again, more information, mymichiganbeach.com, including all the different lists ranking a number of different experiences in Michigan, as well as their guides to all things Michigan by season, by lake, by activity. So much great information on their website, mymichiganbeach.com. We're joined by Jill Halpin, the founder of My Michigan Beach, on the Michigan Megacast. If you're just tuning in, you can watch this interview in full on our website at civiccentertv.com, on our Megacast page, as well as on My Michigan TV on demand 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at mymytv.com. My Michigan TV is your home to find more information from this interview on My Michigan Beach with Jill Halpin, the founder of the organization. Jill, another minute with you before we'll say goodbye today. Anything else that would be important for our audience to know at this time about My Michigan Beach, or upcoming lists and information that people should be on the lookout for at mymichiganbeach.com?
Well, one of the things that put us on the map, so to speak, is our Michigan travel and beach map. It's an interactive map where you can just go ahead and click on that map, and it takes you directly to the location. It'll give you guides with the recommendations on the best things to do, places to eat, where to stay, don't miss activities, anything that you might want to know. And that's our Michigan Beach and Travel map. It's updated regularly, and we're adding locations almost daily.
mymichiganbeach.com is where you'll find all this information, as well as updated lists and information on other activities popping up all across the state of Michigan. mymichiganbeach.com. We've been joined by Jill Halpin, the founder of My Michigan Beach. Jill, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me, Tyler. I really appreciate it. Hope you get an opportunity to get out there and get on the beach this summer.
So do I. I'll go to mymichiganbeach.com for so many great lists there for all across the seasons, the regions, the lakes, and activities in the state of Michigan. Really interesting place. You should check out at mymichiganbeach.com. That is going to do it for this Monday edition of the Megacast. Both the Oakland County and the Michigan Megacast airs daily Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. for the Oakland County Megacast. And then statewide, the Michigan Megacast, 11 a.m. until 12 noon, Monday through Friday, every single day on our family of TV, radio, and other media outlets. Learn more information about the show as well as all of our partnering TV, radio, and web outlets that join us every day by visiting civiccentertv.com and clicking on our Megacast page. On that page, you'll also find links to all of our full episodes and each individual interview. So if you can't join us for 1 hour, for the full 2-hour marathon, or for bits and pieces of our live show, you can always find us on demand on civiccentertv.com on our Megacast page, as well as on the website of My Michigan TV for the Michigan Megacast at mymytv.com, mymytv.com, where you can also get their free apps for your smartphones and your smart TVs and watch the Michigan Megacast anywhere, anytime with the free My Michigan TV app. Big thank you to all of our guests that joined us today, as well as our crew, Jared Clark and Calvin Brown at the office of My Michigan TV, as well as the producer of our program, the king of television himself, Larry Nyland, booking all of our guests and helping them and us be ready for informative conversations all about Michigan 5 days a week for an hour each and every day. There's plenty of great original programming coming up throughout the rest of the day on all of our partnering TV, radio, and other media outlets, including Civic Center TV and My Michigan TV. That's it for the Michigan Megacast, but we will return on Tuesday with new editions of both the Oakland County and the Michigan Megacasts.